The tale unfolds with a band of intrepid adventurers engaged in a fierce battle against monstrous foes within the depths of a dungeon. With a single, swift stroke of his sword, the protagonist, Nyodo, vanquishes an entire group of monsters, leaving his companions utterly astounded. The onlookers marvel at the sheer number of foes he has dispatched, declaring Nyodo's prowess as nothing short of amazing. Amidst the chaos, the main character senses a shift in the air and gazes upward to witness another individual, Anuka, hurling a massive boulder at the approaching monsters. The assembled group expresses surprise at Anuka's formidable powers, attributing them to an apparent over-god skill. A girl from their party activates her blessing, prompting the main character to reluctantly unleash his own power, ultimately delivering a decisive blow to a monstrous adversary. As the dust settles and the monsters lie defeated, Anuka attributes their success to Nyodo's incredible strength. Anuka suggests bypassing the remaining weaker foes and proceeding straight to the boss. However, Lamoto, another member of the party, advocates for order and acknowledges that the task may not be as daunting as it seems. Interrupting the post-battle discussions, Asuka calls for the group to gather, admonishing them for their sluggishness and urging them to hasten their pace. A girl named Manise approaches, her eyes sweetly questioning why they don't take a break. The wearied adventurers, hopeful for respite, eagerly agree. Amidst the group, the main character sits apart, quenching his thirst with water from a bottle. Reflecting on the time spent in this mysterious world, he recalls being an ordinary high school student before being summoned. The sudden tremor, the blinding light, and their summoning by an old king all remain vivid memories. The students, bewildered and questioning their circumstances, press the king for answers. Momoto, the main character, urges the others to either unravel the mystery or engage in dialogue with the enigmatic figure. In the midst of the commotion, Momoto seeks permission to pose a question to the king, recognizing the charismatic presence of the school board president. With a single word, the president restores order and imparts crucial information about the world they find themselves in, an expansive realm teeming with diverse races and cultures, where they have been summoned as heroes to face an imminent threat to the empire. The protagonist, Udo Nakatani, now armed with newfound skills, grapples with the reality of his role as a hero in this fantastical realm. In the realm of this summoned world, each individual bestowed with the honor of being a hero possesses a unique power. The term absorption emerges, leaving the newly arrived heroes perplexed. Suddenly, amidst the confusion, a loud shout pierces the air, and Momoto takes action by cutting open the helmet of a fellow warrior. The revelation unfolds as Momoto is praised for his possession of the heroism skill, one among the varied array of powers each hero wields, ranging from magic and martial arts to body restoration and strengthening techniques. Udo, however, finds himself in possession of what appears to be the weakest skill, an ability to attract different items. The jeers and menacing looks from his peers suggest doubt in his abilities, with some even predicting his early demise. Undeterred, Udo resolves to give his best effort despite the perceived weakness of his power. Tensions rise as Anuka faces accusations regarding the earlier promise that defeating a monster would alert nearby allies. Wazuka intervenes forcefully, silencing dissent and asserting dominance. The impending threat of monsters draws near, and battle preparations are urgently called for. Momoto, brandishing his sword, swiftly dispatches approaching monsters, encouraging the others to fear nothing and press forward. Udo, feeling the weight of being different, is caught off guard when a monster launches an attack. His sword, a symbol of his strength, begins to crack and ultimately shatters. A fellow squad member intervenes, showcasing their skill to deflect the blow. Udo grapples with the realization of his own limitations, his body trembling in the face of the relentless onslaught. Amid the chaos, a menacing black monster with a forehead mark targets Min, prompting Udo to warn her. Swiftly, he maneuvers Menace out of harm's way, sacrificing himself to shield her. The monster's claws draw blood, and as Udo slips into unconsciousness, he contemplates his actions, pondering whether individuals like him should remain inconspicuous. In the aftermath, as Udo regains consciousness, he overhears the voices of his comrades debating whether to leave him behind. Men intervenes, asserting that he had protected her and must not be abandoned. Nyodo suggests a curse afflicting Udo, likely inflicted by the monster. Udo grapples with the consequences of his actions, uncertain of his fate in this perilous, fantastical world. Cursed from the start, Udo contemplates his fate as the squad discusses leaving him behind. Neodo, acknowledging Udo's predicament, suggests abandoning him if the curse is incurable. The agreement is unanimous, with the heroes emphasizing Udo's perceived weakness. Asuka, in particular, dismisses Udo as a weakling and shifts blame onto him for his impending demise. Min passionately defends Udo, asserting their friendship. Asuka dismisses her sentiments, labeling her a fool and blaming Udo for his own fate. The heroes, echoing Asuka's sentiment, brand Udo as a pathetic weakling attempting to drag Menace down with him. Menace, in tears, expresses her desire to cure Udo. Mamoto intervenes, placing his arm around her and urging her to survive for Udo's sake. The group decides to part ways, leaving Udo behind. Mamoto criticizes Udo as useless trash, suggesting that he at least deserves to be hurt and die. The heroes praise Mamoto for acting in line with his presidential role. Udo, weakened and unable to move or speak, contemplates his impending demise. Mamoto cryptically speaks of saying goodbye to a classmate for the last time, leaving Udo puzzled. As the cold and breathlessness intensify, Udo wishes he could communicate his despair. As Asuka approaches, suggesting the contagious nature of the curse, Udo fears the worst. On Asuka's command, the heroes begin to shout, warning against any action. Udo mentally pleads for them to stay away. Amidst the chaos, a voice in his head urges him to use his power to avoid death. Considering his weakness, Udo contemplates trying, hoping to perform a trick and bring some laughter before his demise. On Asuka, realizing Udo's intentions, grows fearful and questions his actions. A brilliant pillar of light emerges, resembling an explosion, leaving the heroes bewildered by the unexpected turn of events. Anuka's shout pierced the air as Udo, still in disbelief, looked at his hands sparkling with electricity. Asuka charged towards him, declaring Udo's life useless and offering it as experience. Closing his eyes in fear, Udo was astonished to find that he had blocked the attack with his hand when he opened them again. Asuka, shaken, pleaded to be released. Mamoto and the onlookers couldn't fathom how Udo had stopped the powerful Asuka. Udo released him, and a voice in his head revealed that absorption was his true power. He had absorbed Asuka's over-god skill. Anuke, furious, accused Udo of hiding his strength and trying to humiliate him. Determined not to die, Udo threw Anuke into the cave wall with immense force, shattering rocks. Anuka coughed up blood, and the onlookers were incredulous. Approaching Udo, the man admitted he never thought Udo possessed such incredible strength. Surpassing Asuka, Udo, unfazed, expressed satisfaction, stating that the man who wanted him dead now acknowledged his strength. He walked away without a word, leaving Mamoto calling after him, expressing concern about his actions. Mamoto urged men to take care of Asuka and report to the commander, emphasizing the danger of leaving Udo alone. The realization struck that if Udo had the strength to defeat Anuka, he could become a formidable enemy in the future. Udo continued through the dungeon, contemplating the freezing sensation that had overtaken him. In his head, a voice assured him that it had taken care of any potential monster encounters. Udo questioned what had been done, widening his eyes in fear when he saw the corpses of monsters strewn across the dungeon. The voice referred to him as an outsider and urged him to be faster. Before him stood a massive gate adorned with a skull and chains. His strongest skill had awakened. The voice urged him to open the forbidden door, leaving Udo to ponder the mysteries that lay behind it. Emerging from the dungeon, the team encountered Akin, who remarked on the rotten air. She questioned if Nakatani Udo was dead, expressing concern about the dangerous nature of the dungeon. The hero sought clarification, eager to understand the ominous reputation of this perilous place. The commander explained that the deepest part of the dungeon was marked as a particularly restricted area. When asked how Saga acquired this information, she revealed her special observation skill, which allowed her to unravel hidden designs and intentions of targets. With an air of nonchalance, Saga informed Manasa that there was no need to worry about Udo anymore, as she had done everything she could. Unconcerned about Udo's unauthorized departure, she dismissed him from her thoughts. Mamoto expressed frustration, asserting that Udo was selfish for leaving without heeding warnings. Akin, on the other hand, remarked that everyone could do as they pleased. Mamoto's anger escalated, and the squad members remained silent, observing the unfolding tension. Asuka, unable to contain his rage, violently smashed the ground with incredible force, expressing regret for not having his power when needed. The heroes discussed Udo's mental state, speculating on the strength he displayed against Asuka, pondering if he might be even stronger than Momoto. Meanwhile, Udo stood in front of a mysterious door within the dungeon, bewildered by his surroundings. As he inquired about the location, a smiling girl with a mark on her neck appeared at the end of a long corridor. Sensing an unsettling odor, Udo felt a terrifying fear, but the voice reassured him and urged him to come closer. In front of the dilapidated throne, the girl, completely naked, thanked Udo for coming, stating that she had been waiting for this outsider. She identified him as her hope and expressed gratitude for saving him. Udo, covering his eyes, insisted that he didn't see anything. The girl, unaware of his words, considered it a disaster and revealed that she knew he wasn't from their world. Udo thanked her for saving him, mumbling that he would be dead without her intervention. The girl sympathized with Udo's situation, mentioning his comrades who set their sights on him. Despite her lack of direct action, she claimed to have pushed him forward slightly. Udo, acknowledging the power of his skill, hesitated, deeming the situation too dangerous. The girl appealed to his potential resentment towards the Empire, expressing a need for his help in seeking revenge against the Holy Empire of Valena, the entity responsible for summoning him. Udo, wary but intrigued, contemplated the proposition presented by the mysterious girl in the dungeon. In those moments of betrayal by his squad, Udo couldn't deny the burgeoning resentment within him. Melia, the mysterious girl he encountered in the dungeon, presented herself as a demon and the daughter of the Demon King, who once ruled the land. Udo, still grappling with the recent events, introduced himself, prompting Melia to compliment his name as cute, promising to remember it. Curious about the circumstances surrounding her revenge and the Empire's resentment, Udo questioned Melia about the situation. She revealed her demonic nature and recounted the tragic history of Lunaria Kingdom, a demon paradise her father had created 400 years ago. The capital, bathed in the glow of stars and a full moon, was a utopia free from conflict. However, this paradise crumbled in a single night when the Empire attacked, destroying everything. Melia described the brutality inflicted upon the demons, who were treated as slaves and met gruesome ends. The Empire twisted the truth, portraying the demons as cannibalistic barbarians. Melia, with her powers sealed, sought to build another Lunaria on Earth, gathering her persecuted brothers and sisters for peace. Despite the fantastical nature of her story, Udo expressed belief and a willingness to help her. With nowhere else to go, he saw Melia as his path forward. As he extended his hand to her, he remembered the limitation imposed by her sealing spell, preventing them from shaking hands. Melia suggested discussing their plans first, emphasizing the need to resist the Empire and garner more strengthened allies. When asked about friends, Melia, having been trapped for 400 years, revealed her lack of companions. To break the sealing spell and restore her power as the Demon King's daughter, she needed a strong dispel skill, urging Udo to acquire such skills to aid their cause. The two began contemplating their next steps in a journey that seemed to blur the lines between reality and demonic lore. Udo questioned how he could acquire the dispel skill, and Melia explained that the name of his skill, Absorption, held the key. However, the current Udo lacked sufficient power to deal with the sealing spell. Melia urged him to become stronger, and they felt a shiver, realizing that the monsters in the dungeon had awakened. Melia revealed that these monsters appeared periodically, and that the power of her skill, Absorption, was especially effective against them. Explaining the potency of Absorption, Melia emphasized its ability to literally take away the power of others. She wanted Udo to absorb her power to become stronger. Udo raised concerns about losing the skill after Absorption, but Melia reassured him that the absorbed power would only be temporarily lost. Anuka's skill, for instance, was still intact after being absorbed. Melia clarified that the compatibility of skills meant that the power remained with the person who absorbed it, making it a powerful and permanent skill. The monsters broke into the room, and Melia asked Udo to give her a hand by placing it on her chest to maximize the absorption. Udo hesitated, questioning Melia's gender, but she urged him to hurry to avoid being devoured by the monster. Placing his hand on Melia's chest, Udo activated his skill and black energy surged from his body. He began to see Melia's memories, marked by tears, Grateful, Melia lost all her magical powers, and without magic, she no longer needed chains. Rising from her throne, she thanked Udo for the takeover, declaring herself finally free. Udo, surprised by the dark energy emanating from his hand, learned that he had gained magical energy but needed to learn how to control it. Melia congratulated him and declared it was time to leave, confident that Udo's current strength was sufficient to defeat the monsters. Udo expressed concern about his lack of control over the newfound power, but Melia assured him that they would face challenges together, determined to fight for their common goal. Udo looked at the monsters, understanding that with at least one skill, he could overcome obstacles step by step. He began to grasp the potential of his skills, envisioning how they could be utilized for greater strength and understanding. Udo activated Black Burial, unleashing its power to crush the monsters in their path. Following that, he utilized Absorption to drain the remaining monsters, leaving him exhausted. Melia commended him on the successful Extermination and suggested checking his. To their surprise, Udo's level had risen to 87, accompanied by the acquisition of new skills: Hard Claw, Flash, Lightning Strike, and Whirlwind. Melia explained that these skills, combined with the Ogre God skill, made Udo a. Hard Claw emitted a force that split the sky and tore the ground. Flash illuminated even the abyss. Lightning Strike unleashed an unstoppable storm of lightning, and Whirlwind could function as a spear, shield, or wings. Impressed by Udo's growing abilities, Melia hugged him and encouraged him not to stop, emphasizing their goal of dismantling the entire country. Udo, embarrassed by Melia's nudity, asked her to put on clothing. She agreed, donning a black robe with a hood, acknowledging that it was not polite to go naked. Melia mentioned that her senses had dulled after 400 years of incarceration. Udo remained a bit flustered, but with Melia covered, they continued their journey. Melia assured Udo that monsters wouldn't appear in their current location, and they could proceed in the opposite direction. She explained that the dungeon had multiple entrances, and going this way would avoid walking into the heart of the Empire. Melia noted that each monster they encountered would be stronger and easier to absorb. As they prepared for the next challenge, Udo activated the vortex, contemplating the convenience of the skill. Suddenly, a monster approached, and Udo wondered which skill he could absorb from it. Before Melia could warn him about the danger, the monster attacked at long range, throwing Udo off guard. Realizing the monster's capabilities, Udo swiftly used the vortex to close in and activated Absorption for payback. After defeating the formidable monster, Udo remarked on its strength, to which Melia agreed. She informed him that even stronger monsters awaited in the great forest of Dinga outside the Empire, where her father, the Demon King, loved to hunt. Melia revealed the existence of a secret passage to the forest, marking the beginning of a new phase in their journey. In the turbulent realm of Udo's existence, a tragic tale unfolded. His family, caught in the clutches of an empire's cruelty, faced a grim fate. His mother, upon discovering their plight, succumbed to a demonic transformation, and his father, the once proud king, became the target of relentless pursuit. Udo, burdened by remorse, sought to apologize to his transformed mother, yet she, weary from the incessant tears shed in the past, discouraged his worry. Her hopes lay in revenge against the Empire, believing it would bring peace to their departed kin. The scars of betrayal by the Empire and classmates haunted Udo, igniting a fiery resolve within. Struggling to comprehend the intensity of hatred that now consumed him, Udo found himself in a strange world, summoned by the Empire's selfish motives. Abandoned and alone, his heart ablaze with resentment, he vowed to become stronger, reaching the formidable level of 196 and acquiring diverse skills, from ice crystal sensation, lost to transparent shaping, and enhanced vision. However, Udo, still unfamiliar with his newfound powers, needed further practice. Melia, a companion on this perilous journey, commended his diligence. Despite occasional failures in facing formidable monsters, Udo persevered, acknowledging the harsh reality of his existence. In a moment of exhaustion, Udo succumbed to a sudden loss of consciousness, a reminder of the challenges he faced. Melia, deploying a protective barrier, assured him that low-level monsters posed no threat. Udo, grappling with weariness, contemplated the ease of living as if blind to the world's troubles. Awakening later, Udo found solace in Melia's reassurance. She spoke of a magical skill, the magic transformation, which could alleviate fatigue by infusing magic power into the body. Udo, intrigued by the prospect, envisioned a world where he could remain awake without facing reprimand from teachers. Melia, however, shattered his illusions, stating that mastering this skill was imperative. Magic transformation, she explained, was about channeling magic power to sustain wakefulness. Yet, she emphasized the necessity of learning its intricate usage. As their journey continued, Melia disclosed the grim reality. They stood on the precipice of danger, with no bridge to traverse. A decision had to be made. Melia, gripping Udo's garments, leaped off the cliff, defying the perilous descent. For them, the broken bridge symbolized a decaying world, and crossing without it demanded such daring leaps into the unknown. Descending at a breakneck speed, Udo implored Melia to give him a heads-up next time. Much to his surprise, Melia landed on him, chiding him for his passivity. Udo, believing he was on the brink of death, opened his eyes to a haunting sight, a landscape adorned with skeletons, a warrior leaning on a sword, and the chilling exclamation of bones. Dismissive of the gruesome details, Melia identified the bones as human remains, surrounded by broken weapons and bloodstains. She deduced that this grim aftermath occurred post-war, speculating on the melted armor of an Empire knight. The revelation left an unsettling air, intensified by the ground's ominous tremors. Suddenly, a colossal dragon materialized nearby, and Udo realized they had unwittingly landed in a dragon's nest. Melia defended their choice, claiming the dangers of corpse dragons far surpassed those they had encountered before. The prospect of acquiring potent skills from this formidable dragon buoyed Udo's spirits. As the dragon emitted thunderous growls, Udo questioned its danger. Melia assured him that Udo, formidable in his own right, wasn't easily defeated by such creatures. An internal conflict brewed within Udo. The seemingly insurmountable fear he felt, juxtaposed with the lessons learned and battles won since arriving in this fantastical world. Summoning courage, Udo resolved to confront the dragon head-on, unleashing a massive explosion. The aftermath revealed a shocking sight. Udo's flesh had vanished, exposing his ribs. The dragon, seemingly unscathed, roared ominously. Fear gripped Udo, contemplating his impending demise as blood spurted from the dragon's retaliation. In a remarkable display of resilience, Udo defied expectations, evading the dragon's onslaught. Despite his trembling legs and overwhelming terror, he pressed on, refusing to succumb to despair. Employing a combination of skills, including the black burial to stem bleeding and loss of sensation to numb pain, Udo recognized the need for strategic planning against the seemingly immortal dragon. As the battle unfolded, Udo's shock intensified. The dragon, known as a corpse dragon, displayed a baffling trait: immortality. A forbidden creation class, it regenerated magical power at an unprecedented rate, rendering it impervious to conventional defeat. Undeterred, Udo widened his eyes in determination, facing the daunting task of unraveling the mystery and finding a way to overcome this seemingly insurmountable adversary. As the dragon unleashed its magical energy, Udo extended his hand, bathing the entire space in a radiant glow. Melia commended him for crafting a clay doll using his creation skill. Udo seized the opportunity, activating an explosive mix capable of disrupting opponents in a regeneration state. The ensuing explosion lured the dragon closer, setting the stage for Udo to claim the monster's skill for himself. Initiating the engulfing skill, Udo touched the dragon, commencing his strategic maneuvers. Activating Hover, he reminded himself not to relax. The dragon's immortality skill, among others, became his target. Employing the flame-corroding skill, Udo ignited the entire space. Undeterred, he repeatedly activated the skill until he was certain of the dragon's demise. Melia acknowledged his success, noting the acquisition of the immortality skill. Examining his once-torn side, Udo marveled at the complete healing of his wounds. Melia explained that the immortal corpse dragon possessed the remarkable ability to regenerate the body as long as magic energy remained. Udo, now in possession of forbidden powers, grappled with the realization of wielding such immense strength. Encouraged by Melia, Udo set his sights on the distant great forest of Dinga, eager to explore new realms with newfound power and a steadfast ally. Meanwhile, within the Empire, a group of heroes underwent rigorous training. The knight, astounded by their proficiency in handling skills, expressed skepticism turned admiration. Amoto, in particular, showcased his magical prowess by effortlessly smashing through a massive boulder, earning the admiration of his peers. The commander marveled at Mamoto's exceptional skills and swordsmanship, grateful for the Empire's leadership that had nurtured their growth. The heroes, inspired by Mamoto, were progressing as desired. However, their training took an unexpected turn when Onzuka shattered a knight's shield with a powerful strike. Onzuka's challenging demeanor sparked tension as Mamoto wished for a more composed approach. As the knight laughed and questioned the legitimacy of losing to someone like Udo, Onzuka silenced the room by grabbing their faces, demanding an end to the arrogant chatter. The knight, undeterred, claimed he would have defeated Udo. Onzuka's response was swift and stern, urging the group to train in silence. Amidst the intensity of their training, questions lingered about the destiny intertwined with the forbidden powers now coursing through Udo's veins. Onzuka defiantly challenged anyone to tell Udo what they thought to his face. The other characters confronted him about his connection to their mutual friends. Onzuka, fueled by anger, dismissed them, insinuating they might be next if they continued provoking him. Uta intervened, urging Onzuka to channel his anger towards the true source and not blame others. Asuka, annoyed, ordered everyone to step aside, expressing gratitude from the knights but acknowledging annoyance with Onzuka. The other heroes continued praising Mamoto, highlighting his ability to subdue even Onzuka. Meanwhile, Arain approached Mise, attempting to uplift her spirits. Mise, feeling helpless amidst others' efforts, expressed concern for Udo and vowed to heal him in the face of adversity. As the heroes continued their interactions, a man accompanied by two young men observed the scene. The man praised the heroes, and the commander recognized Chancellor Dennis, Secretary Dahlia, and Lord Roy. They presented a royal decree, inviting the heroes to accompany them. In the waiting room, Chancellor Dennis apologized for the abrupt visit and delved into the purpose. A crisis had befallen the Empire, and they were tasked with eliminating remaining demons on the front lines. Mamoto inquired about clearing dungeons, but Dennis dismissed it, asserting their power rendered dungeons a waste of time. Curiosity piqued. Mamoto questioned the nature of the demons they were to face. Dennis described them as demi-humans, barbarians with burning eyes who devoured innocent lives. Mamoto sought clarification on whether they were half-human, prompting concerns from the crowd about killing beings that resembled humans. Dennis justified the action, deeming demi-humans as enemies of humanity. Some in the crowd questioned the morality of such killings, while others dismissed demi-humans as little more than trash. The ethical dilemma escalated as someone raised concerns about the legality of murder. Dennis, however, emphasized the royal decree, requesting the heroes' compliance. Despite the reservations, Mamoto reluctantly agreed, acknowledging the Empire's call for heroes was rooted in its own interests. The heroes faced a moral quandary as they grappled with their newfound duty amid the Empire's crisis. Amidst the crisis, Mamoto asserted that it was an opportune moment to make sense of the situation. Other heroes rallied behind him, proclaiming his wisdom. Chancellor Dennis acknowledged Mamoto's decency and thanked him, swiftly transitioning to the next topic, the remnants of demons using an abandoned castle as their... In a separate conversation, Melia shared details with Udi about the demon city Aranam in the forest of Dinga. She revealed that her father had mentioned demons who left Lunaria residing in that castle. Udo, grasping the implications, inquired about surviving demons. As a small reward, Melia gifted him an outfit similar to hers, expressing gratitude for his assistance in fulfilling the demon's long-awaited dream of going outside. Melia suggested they journey together to the great forest of Dinga, where the demon city Aranam awaited. Both groups, one led by Mamoto and the other by Udo and Melia, embarked on the journey. In the forest, Udo marveled at the sight of a majestic castle and questioned the presence of surviving demons. Melia assured him of their existence, estimating a 3-day journey to the demon city. Udo recognized the significance of his newfound skills in achieving this feat. Suddenly, a mysterious figure attacked them, revealing a group of bandits. The bandit leader, holding a sheet with Udo's portrait, declared their intent to use his head for a comfortable life, wishing him a pleasant death. Meanwhile, in the castle, a girl named Lin greeted children playing nearby. Entering the castle, she wished everyone a good morning and prepared food for the residents. The children apologized for their presence, but Lin reassured them, stating she helped because she liked it. The children expressed gratitude, and Lin emphasized that they owed her nothing. The castle, a refugee for survivors from the dragon and demon nations, concealed their existence from the Empire, living in secrecy due to the tragic events in the capital. Lin, the caretaker of the survivors in the castle, couldn't express her gratitude as the residents had to remain hidden. She revealed that, as a child, she was treated well by demons, fostering a deep understanding of their nature. Lin desired a world where people recognized the goodness in demons, and she aimed to contribute to that vision. The children, grateful for Lin's kindness, gathered around her. One embarrassed boy expressed his determination to become strong and protect her, even proposing to marry her when he grew up. Lin, touched, assured him that she looked forward to it, predicting he would become the most beautiful man in the world. An old lady joined them, recalling the notion of allies and expressing belief that the Dragon Nation still held such sentiments. The atmosphere shifted abruptly when Mr. Warlow, the caretaker, entered with a smile. Shockingly, his head fell to the floor, revealing a squad of heroes who had tracked the monsters threatening the Empire. The heroes, reveling in their newfound targets, mercilessly attacked the demons behind Lin. She urged others to flee, identifying the assailants as agents of the Empire. The heroes callously counted their victims, viewing them as martyrs. Lin, shedding a tear, confronted Momoto and attacked him. Momoto, noting her horns, questioned if she was a demon. Lin, defiant, asserted that being alive was not a crime for them. The heroes dismissed the children as easy targets, intending to kill them. One girl from the Empire tried to dissuade her colleagues, emphasizing that despite being monsters, the children were still innocent. Ignoring her plea, the girl swung her sword, prompting Lin to swiftly sever her arm. The injured girl screamed, drawing her colleagues' concern. Misi, another resident, rushed to aid her. Maimoto confronted Lin, listing her alleged crimes, from aiding demons to attacking the Imperial army and mutiny. Lin, undeterred, questioned the hero's definition of bravery, labeling them as ordinary killers and monsters. Meanwhile, Udo observed the unfolding chaos, his stance unknown in this confrontation between the heroes and the residents of the castle. Melia suggested to Udo that the bandits might just be random criminals. The bandits, realizing their partners were outnumbered, decided to take advantage of the situation and split the reward among themselves. Ignoring the bandits' shouts, Udo and Melia continued towards the castle, leaving the bandits frustrated. Shortly after, Udo and Melia confronted and easily defeated the bandits, who continued to mumble about money. Udo questioned Melia about the possibility of survivors, to which she responded that they needed to talk to them. Arriving in Aranam, the city of demons, Melia urged Udo to hurry, fearing an imminent attack on the demons. Their resolve strengthened, they rushed towards the castle. Meanwhile, in the castle, Momoto declared the heroes aggressive monsters, expressing the pain and sorrow of lost lives and vowing to destroy them with his sword. Lin, dismissing Momoto's words, hurled magic at him, but he effortlessly blocked the attack. Mamoto justified their actions as an act of justice to destroy the monsters for the sake of justice. Lin shielded the babies with her body, and Momoto prepared to strike a crushing blow. A bright flash of light revealed Udo blocking Momoto's punch, stunning Momoto and bringing joy to the others. Onasuka expressed relief that Udo wasn't dead and vowed to kill him himself. Udo activated Black Burial, shocking the other heroes. Momoto questioned why Udo intervened, emphasizing that they were cannibal monsters and needed to be destroyed. Udo drew a parallel to bears in their world, highlighting the hypocrisy of sparing them despite the harm they cause. Udo's stance clashed with the hero's conviction, leading to a tense confrontation. Minis urged Momoto to wait, recognizing Udo as a classmate. Aine intervened, indicating that they didn't need to worry about Udo. She gave a predatory smile, leaving the situation hanging with an air of mystery. She bit her finger, and Minis immediately asked her what she meant. Just as Udo noticed that Momoto was charging at him, he warned him not to be conceited just because he had defeated a Nukai. Udo repelled Momoto's attacks, and the heroes began discussing how Momoto remained strong despite numerous battles. They marveled at his unconventional swordsmanship and wondered about the extent of his strength. As Momoto unleashed explosive bullets aimed at Udo, the latter blocked the attack, prompting Momoto to question if going on the defensive was truly that strong. Mise turned to Ayana, who reassured her to observe carefully. Udo remained unimpressed, prompting Momoto to acknowledge Udo's strength compared to his previous state of uselessness. Amidst the chaos, Melia interrupted Momoto, dismissing him as irrelevant. Udo attacked Momoto for speaking nonsense, causing a powerful impact that stunned everyone. The heroes scattered, attending to supplies and helping the wounded. Melia, pointing her finger at healing heroes, implored Udo to wait. Udo absorbed the healing skill from a girl, causing her to collapse. Approaching Manasa, Udo absorbed her skill as well. The heroes continued shouting for Momoto and Anuka to wake up, unaware of their voices due to shock and injuries. Udo absorbed healing skills from multiple individuals, demonstrating his newfound abilities. Udo approached Melia, who was covering a dead demon's eyes. He noted that even if her power wasn't sealed, it couldn't bring the dead back to life. Witnessing Melia's distress, Udo activated treatment, tending to the injured children. Lin, observing Melia, ran to her, sensing a resemblance to someone else. Melia turned, and before Lin could finish speaking, Melia's expression changed. Turning around, Melia looked directly into Lin's eyes. Lin fell to her knees, expressing deep regret and self-blame for not being able to protect everyone. Melia extended her hand, noting Lin's growth and audacity. She found it intriguing to witness Lin's transformation. Tearfully, Lin watched Melia, who embraced her and praised her efforts. Overwhelmed with emotion, Lin couldn't hold back her tears, screaming in response to the heartfelt words of praise. Udo observed the scene with a smile, but it faded after the tragic events. They eventually arrived at the cemetery where demons mourned their deceased friends. Melia, instead of the existing stones, constructed graves for the fallen. Their main goal now was to rectify the damage caused by their adversaries. Melia asked Lin to step back for a private conversation, and they moved away from the crowd. Udo, curious about their connection, approached them. Melia realized she hadn't introduced Udo to Lin yet. After a brief introduction, Lin explained that she and Melia were childhood friends from the Dragon Nation. In the past, the Dragon and Demon Nations were allies, with the previous Demon King protecting the Dragon Nation due to their small numbers. Lin recounted the challenges they faced, being targeted by various species. The nations protected each other and constantly moved to escape threats. Lin had died in the wasteland, but was unexpectedly saved by the demons. The Demon King welcomed the Dragon Nation and they established peace together. However, the Demon City fell, and the demons sought refuge with the Dragon Nation. Udo inquired about Lin's whereabouts before her return. Melia explained that Lin was in a dormant state, akin to a long hibernation, during which she had no magic. Lin described her return to find only small children, the elderly, and the seriously injured. They were hunted, but those who had the strength sought refuge in the demon city of Aranam, which eventually fell to the Empire. Lin, still powerless at the time, could only run in fear. Recently returning, she shared the challenges faced during her absence. In the midst of Lin's recounting, she acknowledged that, although she fought alone, she couldn't compare to the heroes. Udo, however, associated the word heroes with sadness. Len chimed in, asserting that demons didn't harm humans, and tears welled up in her eyes. Her companions sympathized with her, acknowledging that without the hero's intervention, they would all have perished. Len expressed gratitude for the survival of many, and she turned to Melia to inquire about Udo. Melia introduced Udo by name, and Lin remarked that he resembled one of the heroes, though Udo clarified that he was summoned to their world, but separated from them due to a specific reason. Melia added that the Empire was his enemy, leading Lin to conclude that he was on their side. Melia affirmed this, noting Udo's strength compared to the other heroes. Nalia revealed that Udo broke her seal and defeated the heroes. Udo was acknowledged as the hero of demons, and Melia expressed satisfaction with their achievements. Udo activated his skill, summoning numerous creatures wearing similar robes to theirs. Though individually unreliable, their collective strength was considerable. Melia recalled the Empire using a similar energy for transporting cargo. Udo explained that by taking energy from the Empire, many supplies remained, making it a valuable byproduct. Lin, impressed, asked if they could take away their skills permanently. Udo clarified that it was temporary but powerful. He laughed at the Empire, deeming it useless, noting that the ability to attract multiple things was underrated compared to healing magic and summoning. Melia, aware of the true power of Udo's skill, requested him to demonstrate it. Lin, amazed, questioned if they could use it against the Empire. Nalia raised doubts, given their recent victories, and Udo explained that the clue lay with the defeated enemies. Next to a dead bandit, they found a notebook with Udo's photo indicating their involvement. Returning to the path to the Empire, they encountered bandits, tying them up for interrogation. The bandits pleaded to be untied, claiming ignorance. Udo examined a leaflet, monsters hiding behind trees. Melia sought Udo's opinion on their next steps, contemplating the leaflet's significance. Meanwhile, in the Holy Empire of Valencia, wounded and despondent heroes and Mamoto dealt with the aftermath of a breached wall. Mamoto, consumed by rage, pounded his fist in the healing rooms, where healers worked tirelessly. Ayane approached a healed girl, inquiring about her well-being. The girl expressed disbelief, feeling as if it were all a dream. Suddenly, Ayane grabbed her shoulders, demanding to know what awaited them. Mamoto, angered, accused Ayane of hiding something, asserting that she must know more. Ayane urged calm, explaining that her ability merely enhanced her vision a bit. She left, emphasizing that she had witnessed everything about Udo. Mamoto, puzzled, questioned Ayane's statement. She clarified that her improved eyesight allowed her to see Udo's diverse skills. The revelation shocked the others, prompting Mamoto to inquire further. Ayane insisted her knowledge was limited to improved vision and denied hiding more information, leaving Mamoto taken aback. Mamoru questioned Udo's motives, wondering if he protected the demon tribe out of cowardice. The heroes, feeling betrayed, contemplated the need to fight Udo. They questioned the nature of demons, pondering if they were cannibals. In the midst of their confusion, Minis arrived from the governor's office, surprising Ayane. The group sought to ensure Minis's well-being. A man with a mustache, revealed as Lord Treasurer Malcolm Salesford, emerged and commented on the hero's shabby appearance. Malcolm introduced himself and explained that he decided to share his wisdom, preventing them from facing the full force of the dungeon's remnants. He assured them that his intervention saved them, emphasizing their hero status. Mamoto questioned Malcolm. Malcolm placed his hand on Mamoto's shoulder, acknowledging the hero's resilience and suggesting they couldn't give up. He taunted them as heroes defeated by someone with a seemingly useless skill. Mamoto glared and Malcolm feigned fear. Malcolm offered to share information about the demon tribe, claiming to know everything. He asserted that information was a weapon and hinted at potential threats from those he had informed. Malcolm urged the heroes to act swiftly, as their visibility could lead to them hiding only in forests or ruins. The heroes realized the urgency of their situation. In a surge of anger, Onzuka struck a pole and demanded that the old man reveal Udo's whereabouts. Grabbing the man by his shirt, Onzuka insisted on learning everything about Udo. Malcolm signaled his bodyguards to intervene, dragging Onzuka. Malcolm urged him to calm down, promising to share information if he stayed put, albeit suggesting he learn some manners. As the tension rose, Malcolm emphasized the importance of the information. Onzuka questioned how Udo, seemingly powerless, could possess such formidable skills. Malcolm asserted that the Demon King's power was limitless, but their empire had defeated the Demon Lord 400 years ago, establishing the Salesford family's reputation. He offered to reveal how they achieved this victory and invited the heroes to dinner at Salford Manor. Gathering at dinner, Malcolm commenced with the story of the Imperial Labyrinth, also known as the Demon King's Dungeon, once ruled by a demon lord. Filled with the enmity and magical power of the demon nation, demons constantly multiplied with. The heroes were sent on an expedition to test their strength in this ideal environment. Malcolm revealed that the girl sealed in the dungeon was the demon lord's daughter, intended to prevent future issues. The heroes realized the connection to the girl with Udo, suspecting she had the blood of the Demon King. Asuka dismissed the encounter with Udo as their sole confrontation. Malcolm confirmed that the girl was sealed by the first generation of heroes, insisting she posed no threat. Akin, unconvinced, recalled looking into Melia's eyes and noticing her Malcolm remarked on the fragility of humans compared to demons and other subspecies, explaining the Empire's creation of weapons for survival. One such weapon was the summoning of heroes, harking back to the heroes who eradicated the demon tribe 400 years ago. Rai, the most powerful among them, led the charge. Malcolm admitted that, in essence, humans were weaker compared to such extraordinary heroes. Mamoto sought clarification, and Malcolm affirmed the perceived weakness of humans. Disappointment hung in the air as the heroes realized they were not even as strong as Malcolm's private army. Glancing at Malcolm's formidable bodyguard, memories of Onzuka being effortlessly restrained surfaced. Onzuka, frustrated with discussions about the Demon King, demanded information about Udo. Malcolm explained that the inherent weakness of the heroes stemmed from the nature of their summoning. Heroes like Rai the Brave were summoned with extraordinary power. Mamoto's hero skill was originally Rai's, emphasizing Rai's unique ability to grow and learn others' skills by observation, making him immensely powerful. When Ri's strength became overwhelming, all heroes received a share of his acquired powers, needing to combine these forces. Asuka, finding the situation ironic, laughed and smashed a glass, confident that studying the abilities of others wouldn't be too difficult. The surrounding heroes marveled at his skillful glass-breaking technique. Understanding the concept, Mamoto acknowledged the plan. Meanwhile, on the way to the Empire, the heroes changed into new clothes due to the crowded and hot conditions. Udo remarked that wearing the official garb of a Demon King was no different from them calling themselves that. Lin suggested caution, as they were only known to bandits and thieves. Melia, appreciative of Lin's company, noted the importance of royal nobility protecting their people. Udo, noticing the imperial coat of arms, recalled the bandits' words about Malcolm Salesford, the Empire's treasurer, and his questionable character. In the city, Udo observed the discontent among the people and decided to gather information by asking around. Approaching various segments of society, they soon grasped the unfavorable impression Malcolm and his family had in the city. Despite their respectable status, the Salesford clan left a negative impact on the population. Udo contemplated the Lord Treasurer, the Great Court, and the overall atmosphere in the city, realizing they needed to navigate carefully in this unfamiliar territory. The heroes learned about the history of the first hero who aided in defeating the Demon King 400 years ago. This hero possessed the ability to summon others, and with the help of the power of the first hero, swiftly conquered the capital in a single night. As the heroes continued to achieve success and grow stronger, they gained popularity among humans. However, rumors circulated that the Empire, fearing their power, set traps in dungeons and killed the first hero. Udo and Lin shared suspicions about the Empire's actions. Lin mentioned Lord Treasurer Malcolm Salford using his position and wealth to exert pressure on the people. The Emancipation Proclamation, seemingly benevolent, was, in reality, about taking away all servants. Children from slums and city residents were also taken, fueling Lin's resentment towards those in power. Melia suggested moving on and buying supplies, prompting Udo to question their budget. Melia assured him that they had money from selling monster materials, especially dragon horns. Approaching an expensive store, the heroes discussed purchasing weapons suitable for their fight against the Empire. Inside the store, Melia informed the group about a magical tool for manipulating magic. The shop owner presented a glove made in honor of summoning heroes, but Udo expressed doubt. Lin, however, was drawn to a huge axe, deeming it cool. Melia inquired if it was merely decorative, to which the salesman explained it was kept for the strongest hero. Ignoring Lin's warnings about the high price, Melia silently placed a bag of coins on the table, revealing their financial capability from selling dungeon materials. Lin effortlessly lifted the massive axe with one hand, leaving the salesman astonished. He informed them that the store cooperated with the Empire, emphasizing their powerful connections. The heroes learned that the store always stocked first-class products and speculated whether it was the reason the lords patronized them. The salesman confirmed this, revealing that Lord Salford's requests were somewhat unusual, involving weapons and armor crafted to order by skilled craftsmen in the city. Melia expressed interest in learning more about how the Lord disposed of these items. As the salesman prepared to provide more details, in the Imperial Conference Hall, Malcolm acknowledged the possibility of the surviving hero, Udo. He assured the others that Dennis, under his leadership, would strengthen the heroes. Malcolm emphasized that he didn't solely rely on heroes, as his personal army and the deadly hero with a sealing spell were more than sufficient. Dennis offered to leave the heroes' management to Malcolm, who gladly accepted. Malcolm left the conference hall, contemplating how someone as unpleasant as Warlord Dennis ended up in his entourage. Despite Dennis's presence, Malcolm believed he surpassed him in every aspect and was confident in soon claiming the coveted title. Upon returning to the Empire, Malcolm sought a report from the head butler regarding the fugitive hero's location. Frustrated by the lack of information, Malcolm struck the butler, expressing annoyance at the absence of any reports. Entering the manor, he was greeted by his father standing on the second floor of a huge staircase. Alarmed, Malcolm learned he had officially received the mission to kill the fugitive hero. His father cautioned him not to underestimate the hero and questioned if Malcolm knew the hero's whereabouts. Malcolm affirmed this and attempted to convey the urgency of the situation. Hastily, they knew better than to rely on these fools. They were inept and incapable. Dealing with a sealed girl who seemed utterly useless was proving challenging for them. However, in the face of a potential massacre, their dubious skills might come in handy. The room was filled with numerous cages, each containing various monsters. In this tense moment, the party made a bold decision to venture into the forest. Lin expressed concern, noting that the woods were where they were being pursued. Melia reassured the group, dismissing the threat as inconsequential. According to her, they couldn't afford to halt their journey for such a minor obstacle. Udo questioned their purpose in coming here, to which Melia cryptically replied that she intended to lure their pursuers in. She believed they deserved to face their demise. Udo pondered her words, unsure of the right course of action. Melia brushed off his concerns, assuring him that he wasn't implicated in her plans. Her objective was to seek help from the heroes in eliminating the discontent among the people. The companions questioned whether she aimed to force the heroes into the role of Malcolm's hunters. Melia clarified that any misdeeds committed by the treasurer should be carried out beyond the city walls. Udo reflected on the limited options available, acknowledging that heroes were among the few capable of making a difference. Melia turned to Lin, who expressed no fear, stating that Udo being a hero made everything acceptable. It was all part of a decoy plan. Melia gestured dismissively and apprehended a person who had been watching them. She pulled him closer, and Udo, after exhaling, approached the captive. Inquiring if he could contact the heroes, Udo emphasized the urgency of delivering a specific message to a girl. The captive, a bandit, quickly understood the gravity of the situation. Udo extracted information about the Lord Treasurer's cruel activities with illegally captured slaves for his own amusement. Releasing the bandit, the party continued their journey armed with valuable information. Their focus now shifted to luring in the Lord Treasurer. Meanwhile, at the Lord's Manor training ground, the heroes exchanged information and honed their skills. Mamoto, despite facing challenges, remained formidable, garnering more supporters. Amidst quarrels and training, the stage was set for a confrontation with the Lord Treasurer and the resolution of the brewing discontent. Some among them harbored motivation, with MA expressing confidence that everyone was diligently working towards improvement. Her determination stemmed from the belief that she could become stronger and bring Udo back. However, skepticism lingered among the heroes who questioned her resolve. They dismissed her aspirations as nonsense, reminding her of the ordeal she faced at the hands of the enemy. Amidst discussions about rumors and the fate of slaves, doubts arose regarding their summoned world. Fear gripped them, contemplating the possibility of being forced into slavery. The consensus leaned towards the necessity of acquiring combat skills, yet Mamoto stood as the sole individual capable of learning such abilities. The training ground welcomed Malcolm and his bodyguard, checking on the progress. Mamoto boasted acquiring skills, but Malcolm doubted their efficacy against his formidable army. A challenge ensued, with Asuka requesting to face Malcolm's bodyguard. The ensuing duel took a grim turn as Asuka sustained a severe wound, prompting Malcolm to suggest managing them all. In a dungeon, the party strategized, pondering the absence of the heroes and Malcolm. The bait had been set, and the bandits' return indicated the relay of their message. Udo speculated on progress, anticipating a significant step forward. The influential female members sought information on other heroes' combat capabilities and skills. Udo commenced listing, starting with Mamoto, heavily influenced by the heroes. Melia knew of his hero skill, but acknowledged its current limitations. Asuka, the ogre god skill master, posed a genuine threat, especially with his apparent selfish behavior. The intricate web of alliances and skills added complexity to their quest, keeping the party on edge in the face of impending challenges. Since his arrival, he had been lashing out at individuals from the Empire, and now, with them as enemies, he found a convenient partner to sow discord from within. These two figures held substantial influence in the Empire. making them strategic assets. Lin, curious about Melia's strategic thinking, inquired about her meticulous planning. Udo, focusing on the key female players, highlighted 4 individuals. Akin Soggy, with her mysterious skill-enhancing vision, intrigued him, despite claiming it only improved her eyesight. Her occasional pallor hinted at undisclosed aspects. A master at reading the atmosphere, she had already secured influence and skills, poised to manipulate Malcolm. The girl seemingly obsessed with him, Natsuki Manis, possessed a valuable healing skill and considerable influence on the characters. Her impact rivaled Momoto's strength, emphasizing the importance of communication skills in their world. The remaining 2, Nessa Ino and Sekaido, were formidable swordswomen. Although their strength surpassed Momoto and Anuka, Udo questioned their overall effectiveness. In a discussion about skills, Lane expressed concern about whether the heroes would even show up. Melia reassured her, emphasizing the need for patience. Udo mentioned his proficiency with the dragon technique, but acknowledged the need for more practice. Lin comforted him, assuring that he would master all skills in time. Meanwhile, in the Empire, Lord Roy stood in contemplation until Chancellor Dennis interrupted him. Dennis questioned the purpose of his visit, suggesting a more casual encounter without business matters. However, Lord Roy had a specific request regarding the missing individual. They had located their position, but the finance minister couldn't track their movements. Lord Roy contemplated the possibility of subjugating the rogue hero, but David clarified that the focus was on investigating the finance minister and, if necessary, purging him. Moving to Misha, Malcolm assured Lord Roy that everything was going well. He conveyed the Emperor's concern about the runaway hero's fate, emphasizing the need for careful handling of the situation. The Empire's intricate politics and covert maneuvers continued to unfold, setting the stage for a complex and challenging confrontation. Lord Roy was determined not to screw up, especially after hearing an intriguing story. He suggested discussing it, referring to a territory conflict with the demons. Despite the almost eradicated traces of the demons, he believed their bloodline might still exist. The ongoing struggle for these lands involved the extraordinary strength of the Beastmen, with Lord Roy's family displaying great bravery. The bloodline posed a threat to the Empire, demanding its eradication, the very reason why the Salisbury family governed the region. Rumors had surfaced about survivors from that bloodline, causing concern. Lord Roy expressed his desire for Malcolm to actively participate in handling the situation. Malcolm readily agreed, committing to the task. After Chancellor Dennis left, Malcolm pondered the unexpected leak of information, questioning the involvement of the Emperor's name. Worried about the hero potentially being a representative of the Demon King, Malcolm realized the urgency of capturing him. The fate of their entire family hinged on this pursuit. The butler whispered crucial information to Malcolm, leading him to a revelation. He found the hero they were seeking, and Malcolm chuckled at the irony of the situation. It turned out to be a location where his family had once thwarted a hero. As Roy and his army set off, Malcolm, with a predatory look in his eyes, discussed his devious plans. Ayane, looking up at the sky, expressed having done everything she could against them. Feeling a sense of resignation, Malcolm's dark intentions set the stage for a looming conflict where disparate groups converged in the same area, preparing for a great battle. The intricate political and strategic maneuvers unfolded, revealing the complexity of the unfolding events in this intricate tale.